Hi, welcome to the how to do a 3DS system transfer video for Boydo's Tech Talk. If you've been following the blog, you would know that I've just gone from the standard Nintendo 3DS on the left here to the Nintendo 3DS XL on the right. I've got both units here at the moment because EB Games have kindly let me take the new 3DS XL home, so I can do my system transfer at home because they had no available internet connection in the shop. So having an internet connection is an important part of the system transfer process, because you need to call back to the Nintendo mothership to make sure that your licenses and whatnot are valid and they're able to be transferred. So what we need to do is we need to get into the system transfer part of the 3DS. So we do that by going into System Settings, and I'll just do that on both. And then from System Settings we need to go into Other Settings. And then we need to go across to the third screen here, so you can just tap on 3 up the top and then go to System Transfer. So I'll just do the same on the 3DS on the left. Okay, so now they'll connect to the internet to confirm that the transfer can be performed. Now, if you've just bought your 3DS XL, you will need to make sure that you've got the latest software on the device. If you don't, the transfer will fail, or you won't be able to do a transfer at all. Okay, so here we are. We have two options now under System Transfer: transfer from a Nintendo DSi system, or transfer between Nintendo 3DS systems. So obviously, because I've got two 3DSs here, I've got to choose transfer between Nintendo 3DS systems. So there's an agreement there. So process cannot be undone. System memory of the source system will be formatted, deleting all data. So you will not have duplicate information on both. You will only have the information you are after on one 3DS at any one time. And it also says after the transfer process, the SD card from the source system will be immediately usable in the destination system. Now I'll talk a bit about that afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to agree. So number of transfers remaining for this system, 5. Perform the transfer. Yes. Alright. So I'll just get up to speed on the other side here. Okay, so we now have two options: send from this system or receive from a Nintendo 3DS system. So obviously I want to send from the unit on the left here to the unit on the right. So from the 3DS to the 3DS XL. So I'll tap receive from a Nintendo 3DS system here, and then I will tap send from this system on the 3DS on the left. Select a target system, Boydo, that's me. So to confirm the target system you've selected, please use Boydo's Nintendo 3DS system now. On 3DS XL, transfer from Boydo's Nintendo 3DS system. They're both called Boydo, so that might be slightly confusing. Total transfers remaining for this system, the target system after transfer is complete, 4. So I'm going to say yes. Alright, and now back on the 3DS. If you continue with the transfer, etc., it's just making sure you understand what you're doing. So you will lose the data on here. You won't lose your data on the SD card, and you'll be able to use your SD card in here on the target system once it's done. So I'm going to say next, and another are you sure? the transfer process will replace all data on the target system with that of this system. All data on this system will then be deleted. Continue. So there's nothing on the 3DS. So I'm happy to go ahead. Preparing for transfer. So here we go. Okay, so if you have the same software or add-on content on both systems, the software or add-on content on the target system will be deleted and will no longer be usable. That's fine. So I can just get that back off the eShop, so that's fine. So, yes. And transfer. Okay, decide where titles on the system memory will be moved to the SD card. Move. Okay, so it's moving Zelda 4 Swords for me. Okay, so on the 3DS XL now, it's saying data created by the system on the SD card will no longer be usable if you perform a transfer. Delete all Nintendo 3DS data on the SD card. That's fine because I have nothing on there. Yes, delete. Okay, so it's been deleted. Were any other SD cards used with this system? No, because it's brand new. So we have this nice little Pikmin animation going now. This is probably the most amusing transfer process I've ever watched. So, top marks to Nintendo here for making this a less boring activity and making it a bit interesting. Pull them apart a bit to see if I can make it go a bit quicker. So what I might do is I'll just speed this up and see how we go further on in the process. Okay, so we've done the system transfer, and it now says the system will now restart to complete the transfer. Do not turn off the power, so I will say OK. And meanwhile, on the standard 3DS on the left, transfer complete, days until next transfer can be performed 7, so you can only do this once a week. System memory will now be formatted. Please use the source system's SD card with the target system from now on. So I won't actually do that. So because the 3DS, the standard 3DS, has a 2 gig card and the 3DS XL has a 4 gig card, I'll be copying the contents of the SD card in the 3DS to that in the 3DS XL. So I'll just be plugging that both of them into a computer, and it's a straight copy over. So no worries there, so I'll just say OK. Formatting system memory. Okay, so the 3DS is now formatted and is now in its out-of-the-box state, so I can stop worrying about that now. On the right, Nintendo DSiWare will now be moved to the system memory from the SD card. Insert the SD card which has the Nintendo DSiWare moved from the source system stored on it. So I'll just have to, I'll turn this off here. Just pop out the SD card. And where is it on here? Okay, so that's now in. So focus in, there we go. Let's say move. Okay, done. Okay. And that's it. So that took about half an hour all up. Your mileage may vary depending upon how much data you need to move over. So if you've got more than me, it'll take longer. If you've got less, it'll take less time. But you can see I've got a whole stack of my games already moved over there. So there's Super Mario Brothers there, the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic, and it's even brought across my resume point. So that's fantastic. So I won't play that just at the moment. There we go. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments you want to leave, just leave it below the video. But as always, thanks for watching.